Well, hi everybody. We can go ahead and get started. I don't want to belabor the rest of your day because we're already at 4 o'clock. Hi. Um, my name is Starla Moria. I'm the representative for the Women in Housing Network. I currently work for Swarthmore College in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania as the Director of Residential Communities. We're a small campus, but I do most of the housing operations, and I supervise the residential communities coordinators, or our hall director equivalents. I see a few people in the room. I don't think we've met before. If you are comfortable sharing where you're from, your name, your preferred pronouns, and then I have just a couple slides to share and we can engage in dialogue if you're comfortable. Michelle, I see you first. Would you like to introduce yourself to the group?
Hi, good afternoon from sunny. I can't tell, my shades are down. So University of Cincinnati, I use she, her pronouns, and I serve as the Assistant Director of Operations in our housing department.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, Michelle.
I'm Brittany Johnson. I have she, her pronouns. I am the Fiscal Affairs Manager at UGA Housing.
Awesome. Hi, Brittany. Thanks for being here.
Hi, I'm Jen. I'm from Boise State University in Idaho. I run the Summer Conference and Guest Housing Program, and she and her.
Thanks, Jen. If you're more comfortable, please feel free to write a brief intro in the messages. That's totally fine. I think we've got one more person in the room.
That must be me, because I was like, I don't really know how many people are in here. I am Tina, and I work for the University of Colorado, Denver. And what's the other thing? Yeah, that is me.
Awesome. Thank you, Tina. Got one more person entering the room shortly. Hi, Janelle. My name is Starla Gory. I'm the Director of Residential Communities for Swarthmore College, and I serve as the co-chair-elect for the Women in Housing Network. We got a few more people coming in, but I think we can go ahead and get started with the very brief slideshow that I have for you all, and then I would love to engage in conversation and dialogue. So I'm going to share my screen. If someone can give me a thumbs up whenever they're able to see that. Awesome, good deal. So again, I'm representing the Women in Housing Network under Akuhuai. We call ourselves winners, W-I-H-N, because we love our acronyms in higher ed. So our network structure is, or throughout this slide presentation, I'll talk about our network structure, our goals for the year of 2021-2022, some engagement opportunities that are coming up, and then we'll have time for dialogue, questions, discussion after. As I shared in the co-chair-elect, currently Melinda Carlson from SMU is our fearless leader, along with Paige Hicks from the University of South Florida. And then Deanna Hughes and myself will be the folks to try to continue to steer the ship after Melinda and Paige, after Melinda and Paige's year in leadership. So within the network, we have some subcommittees. We've got 3 of them so far, and they are the Engagement and Communications Subcommittee. We work on the Talk About It series that's featured in the Walking Stick. We create and facilitate the I Make Campus Home YouTube video series, where we allow women in housing to share their story, share their passions, their areas of interest and expertise via YouTube videos. We engage our members in social media platforms, and we like to highlight the good work that everybody is doing in the network. The second subcommittee is the Education Subcommittee. They help with the research poster series. They identify articles and resources to add to the Akuhoi portal. Something that's coming up is that they also help with the ACE panel. So every year we try to submit, and we are usually accepted to present at the ACE National Conference. So if you're interested in that, that's a great way to get involved. And one of the main points of pride is creating the Women in the Workplace Scorecard. So the goal for that is that women, folks who identify as women that work in housing, will be able to share their experience of working where they do. And that way, if you are applying to another institution or company, you can see and learn if they have a rating on the Women in Housing Network scorecard. And that committee is looking for diversity, equity, and inclusion in hiring processes. Folks who identify as parents will be sharing their experiences as well. So hopefully a workplace scorecard will help many of us if and when we decide to job search. The third subcommittee is the Membership Development Subcommittee. This subcommittee works on the roundtable topics, and they identify presenters and moderators. We have different themes and ideas for our roundtables. Sometimes we focus on navigating COVID. We focused on folks who have become parents or want to become parents while working. We've also had really incredible panelists who have had 30 plus years of experience that share major takeaways that they have, just really great opportunities to connect and learn from folks in our roundtables. That subcommittee also works on the regional toolkit, which is another great resource that we'll be using with the Akuhoi. And they've just begun a mentor-mentee matching program. So if you're interested in becoming a mentor or you're looking for some support as a mentee, please reach out to Paige and Deanna, because they are starting a great little program that I think will just do some really incredible work. Some of our major events, we've spoken at ACE. We have our virtual roundtables that go on once a month, and then we moderate a lot of panels where we connect with industry leaders, and we try to plug their ear. All of the questions that we ask and all of the topics that we talk about are from the network. So if you have questions that you'd like to ask folks, let us know, because that's how you get to learn what you want to learn, right? So our goals for this year, we want to increase our monthly network connections. I think Jackie Satera just joined the meeting. Hi, Jackie. Jackie, I want to shout out Jackie. She's done incredible work to connect folks all over the country, despite our different time zones. So that's another goal that we'll keep working on. Subcommittee leadership opportunities. We definitely want to pass the torch to folks who have these areas of interests and passions, because that's how we keep the network going. And then we want to engage with other networks. There's LGBTQ plus network, there's the Professionals of Color network, a whole bunch of different sub networks that we want to partner with and support and reinforce. So we'd like to know, how can we best support the network? What would you like to see from this affinity space? What identities folks are missing from this space? And how can we make the Women in Housing Network accessible and welcoming to all? Finally, we'd like to ask what support and resources you would like to see from the Women in Housing Network. Something that I forgot to mention at the top is that we have petitioned and been approved to change the Women in Housing Network to be spelled WOMXN, to be more inclusive of those who are interested in joining our network, but historically have not been welcomed in women-only spaces. So yeah, if we'd like to, I'd like to open the floor for dialogue, discussion, and I'd like to engage with folks who joined after we did our introduction. So if you haven't introduced yourself and you're comfortable doing so, please feel free to do so now.
Oh, okay. I'm Renee Richard-Gauntz. I'm the Director of Communication and Administrative Services at Louisiana State University.
Thank you, Renee. Will you share your preferred pronouns as well?
her, hers, and she, her, and hers. And I was fortunate enough to be on one of your panels. So I appreciate that opportunity as well.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming back.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Janelle Brown with the University of Houston, and I serve as housing manager over accounts and assignments. And I don't have any pronouns, but I'm going to say the her and hers.
The She Her series. Awesome. Thank you, Janelle. Thanks for being
Thank you.
here.
Hello, my name is Amanda. I use she, her pronouns. I am the Assistant Director for Assignment Services at University of Maryland, Baltimore County. I also oversee conferences and desks in addition to assignments. So thank you for having us.
Thanks, Amanda. I think we've got a couple other folks who work on conferences in here. Feel free to connect with each other.
Hi, my name is Laura Tanager. Oh, I'm sorry, Jacqueline. You can go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. Thank you. My name is Laura Tanager, she, her, hers, and I'm the Associate Director for Operations at University of Utah. So operations, this campus means occupancy, assignments, and IT. So I work with the staff in those areas. So glad to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Laura.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jackie Satera, she, her, hers. I serve as the Director for Residential Education at Bucknell University, which is in central-ish Pennsylvania.
PA representing in this meeting. If you're more comfortable introducing yourself in the chat, please feel free to do so there as well.
Hello, my name is Halle Farley with Student Housing Residential Life of CSUMB Monterey Bay. I use she, her, hers. I am specifically an assignments and customer service specialist here for our main campus. We have 2 branches of campus, Main and East Campus, and I do it for the main. So, hi-yo.
Hi, Halle. Thanks for being here.
Hi, everyone. My name is Fernanda. I am also an assignment and customer service specialist, just like Halle. I also work for CSUMB student housing. I actually do the assignments for the other side of campus, East Campus. And I use she, her, ella pronouns. And this is the first time I am joining a group like this. So I'm actually pretty excited to hear whatever you all got to share. So thank you for the space.
And you're joining us from the beach. How awesome.
Yes, exactly. Well, not to brag, but our campus is pretty close to the beach. So technically I am.
I'm a little jealous, not going to lie. I believe we have a couple more folks, but totally okay. Challenge by choice if you're not comfortable sharing. Totally fine. We can move to some of the questions I posed earlier. How can we best support you? What are you looking for from the Women in Housing Network? And what resources and support would you like to see from us this year? And Jackie, do you mind taking notes on our discussion? Yeah, thank you, friend. Thank you.
I can go first. I am working, and I don't think this is unique to our institution. I'm working with a team where we've had some vacancies. The pandemic's already hard. We've got folks covering for multiple responsibilities. They're job searching themselves. And so it's trying to balance supporting employees with where they're at, how they come to work, what sort of things impact them coming to work, taking advantage of resources that the university offers, whether that's work remote, or, how do you balance sick time if you're getting your test, but you haven't had your COVID test result yet? How do you navigate that? So I think there's a lot of gray area. So I think my question is, how are people supporting their team, if you are a supervisor, or if, regardless if you are a supervisor, what are things that have made you feel supported in your work? We're just working with a lot of people that are balancing, like, I want to do my job well, but also I don't think I want to be here. And so I personally, that's fine. Like, I do not need to be, I don't need you to be a lifer. I just want to make sure that we're supporting you in your role, and that we get you to where you want to go next, if that's something that we can do.
Before we engage in dialogue, I want to share on November 10th, we will be having our roundtable. It's called Navigating COVID Job Searches, Job Transitions, Pivoting and Adjustments. And I think that'd be another great space where the conversation is happening. That meeting is not recorded. So if folks are more comfortable sharing in those real talks, because we won't be taking notes, or I know there's some concern about what is shared in safe spaces being publicized elsewhere. So if you're more comfortable there, that's another great opportunity to, yes, that roundtable, I will put it in the chat as well, the link and everything. But again, I think that's a great opportunity. Any folks want to share now how they're feeling or navigating? I think my team at Swarthmore is calling it COVID exhaustion, like exhaustion, but COVID exhaustion.
One of the ways that I felt supported, and how I've tried to support my staff as well, especially as a woman, and having several females on staff who sometimes take the lion's share of responsibility when it comes to parenting. I have appreciated that like before school programs and after school programs didn't necessarily exist for a long time, and now even the ones that do exist are very limited in space. And so I've been given that flexibility to sit in the carpool line and get to work a little bit later, or leave a little bit sooner to pick up my child. And we've had a few people whose children have to be out because they were once they went back to school, they may have been quarantined because they sit closely to somebody who tested positive or what have you. So even though they weren't sick, they couldn't go to school. And so allowing folks to work remotely when we had already gone back to an in-office situation and those types of things, just having the flexibility to understand that we're in a different place now. All of the same opportunities don't exist. Even if sometimes if they do, sometimes you don't feel necessarily safe in those. And so being able to give that flexibility for people to take care of their number one priority, which is their family at home, and while still doing an excellent job for us. So
I'll say one way, or a few ways I've been or felt supported as an employee and try to encourage my staff is to encourage and allow for professional development. Like in a lot of my departments, I've been able to do various trainings. I've only been with housing for 2 months now, but this is the first conference I've been able to attend, and I've been with UGA for about 9 years now. So I really appreciate opportunities like that, and then seeing my staff want to engage in them also, and letting them know, like, I'm not only here for you to benefit us directly, like I'm also trying to help you get to wherever you want to go in your career. So even if it's not always one-to-one, like maybe they're trying to learn something new that could still kind of be translatable to their current job, like I'll support that too.
I think what has been helpful for me as I supervise area coordinators, hall directors, student staff, and I'm on the operations side, so I deal with a lot of our front desk students. So I supervise a lot of people who I know that if I don't put a smile on their faces, they can't put a smile on other faces. So it's been more about having those honest conversations and creating a space where they feel like they have grace and they have open, that they can have an open dialogue with me for, even for, you know, the males who may not have kids, they may have significant others, meeting them exactly where they are. What is it that you need? Working with, you know, parents, as I'm a parent myself, working with those individuals and the individuals who may not have kids or significant others. They have needs too. So it's recognizing the group themselves and really getting to know them. I think that in years past, we haven't always been able to introduce the parenting in the workplace. It was secretive if you were job searching. Like, it's that time where now it's time to have those honest conversations. Like, where are you with things? And I mean, Laura, I really empathize with you. Like you said, when someone is here and says, hey, I want to do my job well, but I don't know if this is exactly where I want to be. I had one of my staff members who, you know, did a lot of late night hours. And in her signature line, she put, while this is the time that is best for me, I understand that you may not respond to an email right now. And so at least it let us make the decision. Like, if you're emailing at midnight, because that's when your little essential workers are asleep, great. But it made me feel good that knowing, or it made others on the staff feel good knowing that they didn't have to answer back at midnight. And I think it allowed that space for them. So I would just say operating in comfort, operating with grace has really been beneficial and helpful to my team.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. We have in no way cracked the code to COVID exhaustion. And I work at a small private liberal arts college where our students experience a lot of mental health crises. We transport anywhere from 3 to 5 students a week for mental health crises of different severities. But something that has proven to be really helpful for my team is Thursdays for half the day. I'm sorry, my connection was unstable. Am I back? Yeah. Okay, sorry. So we block off Thursdays where that is their reserve time to take a breather, do what they need to do. And it's our uninterrupted time. They can choose to meet with students or, you know, they choose how to use that time, but that's essentially the protected time. As their supervisor, I don't schedule them for anything. And I ask them, you know, to put it like an away message and even block it off on their calendar. So just a dedicated block of time that is theirs to use what they need to. And some of my staff have shared that that's when they're going to therapy or they're working remotely so they can stay at home with children. Again, it's their time to use how they need to, but I found that giving them some agency on a few hours and being protective of it as their supervisor has made a little bit of a difference in their COVID exhaustion.
Do you have a date for when the spring charges are gonna post and when they're due?
Sorry, the what?
Oh, November this year, okay.
Yes, so the COVID job transition, pivoting and adjustment real table is November 10th at 3 o'clock.
Somebody was asking and I said, well, I had to call you anyway. I said, let me ask him and see if he knows.
I think this might be a different conversation. I'm gonna get a mute. Sorry, Janelle. But yes, the COVID job transition pivoting and adjustment real table is November 10th at 3 p.m. Again, that's a safe, protected space where we will not be recording, we will not be writing notes. So it's a good place to. Sometimes people just vent in these real tables and we say, you know, we can't help you, but we feel you. So it's a good space to be. Sure. At 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you are not on our Facebook group, please find us. We're Kuhuai Women in Housing Network. We post all the links to our upcoming events and things like that in that group. And it's also a great way to meet with others, maybe in this conversation, that you'd like to connect with further. Jackie will also post the best graphics and events on there too.
Thank you all. I appreciate you sharing. Those are helpful.
All right, well, I will reshare my screen so you can see our contact info. I will hang out for a few more minutes, but I highly encourage you, if you are looking for support or a great system of folks who are walking the same walk you are and may empathize and sympathize with you, I think the Women in Housing Network is a great place. In our Facebook group, there are a lot of job postings that are shared, and I like to think that the network provides a sort of vetted advertisement for things that are going on. So that's a great place to connect with others and a great way to be connected to our network. Our contact info is there on the screen. Please feel free to reach out. Please feel free to hang out and talk some more if you'd like to. Thank you everyone for being here. Appreciate it.